Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And on today's video, we are going to be taking a two gang box light switch and fan switch and making it into one gang box. So instead of having two physical switches, one next to the other, we're just gonna have one switch with two switches on that one switch, if that makes any sense. Now that I got all the wires out, I am here looking for the hot wire. And as soon as I get the hot wire located, I put some black tape on it just so I won't get shocked. But I do have those rubber gloves, so it won't be much of a problem. And also, since the box is made out of, I think this was made out of fiberglass instead of plastic, I won't blow the breaker if the hot wire was to touch the box. Since this is a plastic box, instead of making the hole bigger, I decided to just go ahead and pretty much demo the whole entire box. I was literally just using a needle nose pliers and just folding it until it breaks off. I did have some trouble with the two nails that were nailed into the 2x4. As you can see here, it just didn't want to come out. I was trying to pry it out. I just decided to grab my oscillating multi-tool and cut it out. Now that I have all four wires free, now it's time to put those four wires into that one gang box. This is a old construction gang box. The difference between the old and the new construction gang box is that the old has nails that you could hit with a hammer to nail into the 2x4. And since we don't have the space to do that, we use this old gang box, which is just a screw with a butterfly tab, I guess, that literally holds the box in place. It's between the plastic tabs on the outside and the butterfly tab in the inside. It sandwiches the sheetrock. Then from there, all I have to do is put all the wires back together. The only difference is that instead of using two different switches, I'm going to be using a switch that has two in one gang box, and you're going to see that now. Also, I want to mention that I'm doing this in my sister's house in Ohio, and that is literally the only reason you see me using regular pliers to twist those wires together. So here you see the switch. One of the reasons that I like this switch is because you only need one power leg, one that's hot, and the other two can be the loads, which is the light and the fan. So you have one switch on the top, which I usually like to use for the light, and on the bottom I use for the fan, because you don't really use the fan as much as you use the light, and that's why I like to put that first. Now that we made that box smaller, we have a hole in the wall, and I'm going to be making a blowout patch. A blowout patch is pretty much just a piece of sheetrock with paper hanging off on the side. So for example, the patches may be 3 inches by 1 inch. And what we're going to be doing is making it 1 inch bigger. So we're going to make the actual sheetrock 4 inches by 2 inches. And that extra inch of sheetrock, I'm going to be peeling it off and keeping the front facing paper on it, and that's what's going to hold the patch in place, like I'm going to show you now. Now starts the part that I dislike the most. I have some compound and plaster Paris mixed together so that it could dry quick, and I'm just putting it around the hole, in the hole on the edge of the sheetrock and around it. And then I'm putting the blowout patch in place. As you can see, it has 1 inch of paper all the way around. And I'm just pretty much squeezing out all the extra compound underneath. Because whatever you leave underneath that paper, it's going to be visible after being painted. And you don't want that. And here what I'm doing is just filling in that cavity where the sheetrock, the new sheetrock is. Just so that it looks flat and done. And now I just got to let it dry. The first coat is dry. Now it's time to put the second coat, and the second coat is pretty much just putting it as wide as possible, trying to get the patch to flow into the wall, because if you just put it right where the patch is, when you paint it, you will see it. So what you want to do is go as far as possible with the patch to blend it in. And honestly, it doesn't really matter how much compound you use, because in the next step, you're going to be sanding off the majority of it. Now that the patch is dry, it's time to start sanding. All you're looking to do is to make the patch flat as possible and let it blend into the wall. That's why you see me rubbing my hand against it to see how it flows, because whatever you feel, the light will expose. So if you feel like a bump in a certain area and you don't sand that off, when you turn on the light and everything is painted, you will see that bump. And that's one of the reasons why I'm using this light in an angle. No one is ever going to do this, like like put a light around your switch. But if you want to be a perfectionist, you want to shine a light to see if you see any bumps around and sand that flat. Now for the last step is going to be the polish coat. All you're looking to do is put a very thin coat of compound on top of your patch. And what that's going to allow you to do is get rid of all the scratches that the sandpaper left behind. After this, you literally don't have to sand anymore. You just let it cure. You could paint and walk away. And now all that's left for me is to put the cover plate. Sometime in the future, I will be going back to Ohio so I can remodel the rest of the bathroom. I'm going to be doing the floor and I'm going to be doing the vanity. My brother-in-law will be taking care of the painting because that's one thing I really don't like doing. So if you're interested in seeing that, consider subscribing. If you learned something new, you could show me by giving me a like. And if you have any comments or questions, leave it in the comments down below. Thank you for watching.